In August last year, police shot Jacob Blake multiple times in the back, triggering protests in Kenosha, Wisconsin. 17-year-old Kyle Rittenhouse says he wanted to help protect people threatened by rioters. Armed with a rifle, he shot dead 2 people and injured a third, claiming self-defence. He's been acquitted of all charges.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Kyle H. Rittenhouse, not guilty.
But the case has reignited debate on gun rights, vigilantism and racial injustice in the US. Rittenhouse has now spoken publicly for the first time.
It wasn't Kyle Rittenhouse on trial in Wisconsin. It was the right to self-defense on trial. Right. I'm not a racist person. I support the BLM movement. I support peacefully demonstrating. How polarized it became is absolutely sickening. Yeah. Like, right or left. People using me for a cause that should never have been used as a cause.
Bernarda Villalona is a criminal defence lawyer and has been following this trial closely. Bernarda Villalona, what was the gist of the Fox News interview?
So I was surprised by the Fox interview of Kyle Rittenhouse because I was expecting something much more political, but I think it was pretty much neutral in the sense that Kyle Rittenhouse told his story about what he felt and how he's adamant that he was acting in self-defense.
Can you explain for the Australian audience what the legal situation is there that Rittenhouse was able to argue successfully that this was self-defense?
He claimed self-defense, that he was in immediate fear for his life. It was either his life or that other person's life. So in terms of what allowed him to get off, it's because of his testimony. It's because of when he testified, it was a game changer that he started crying and saying, look, it was either my life or death. I had no other choice. I couldn't leave. Plus, Wisconsin is a stand your ground state, so he didn't have to leave. But that he was acting in self-defense, he was in fear of his life.
The thing that's probably hard for an Australian to get their head around is that here self-defence would be if you were defending your own home or your own body or something like that. He had travelled about 20 miles from his home with a weapon and then could still argue that it was self-defence.
If you were inside your house, and this is pretty much normal for every state here in the United States, you can protect yourself and protect your home because it's called the castle doctrine. You're inside of your home and you're allowed to protect yourself. But in terms of self-defense, for Kyle Rittenhouse, he was in the street. And this goes pretty much for a lot of the states here in the United States, is that if you feel someone's about to put imminent deadly harm upon you, that you can protect yourself, but you have to be sure that the threat and force you're using is the absolute necessary one and that it's reasonable.
Did the Fox interview shed any light as to why Rittenhouse had gone to that area with a weapon?
They didn't touch on why. Why exactly did Kyle Rittenhouse get an AK, pretty much AR-15, and go to a different state with that AR-15 doing a protest? That's something they didn't touch on. However, what they were saying, he was going there to protect property, protect people's lives, keep the streets safe. But it doesn't say exactly why he went there with that weapon, whether it was actually necessary, because either way, he wasn't of age in order to carry a weapon.
You made the point that the interview was less political than expected, and he actually said in it that he thought this matter had been politicised and used by both the left and the right. Is it credible that he is not playing this in any kind of political way?
It's not credible to me because you got to think, something that the jury did not hear is that just a couple of days after his release, Kyle Rittenhouse is photographed inside of a bar with the Proud Boys wearing a shirt that said Free AF, curses, right? So these are his affiliations that he had with such right-wing organizations. So in terms for him to say that it was too politicized, you were part of that politicization. In fact, your bail money and your representation came from that.
Again, for an Australian audience, can you explain why this issue has become so polarised in the US?
If we compare Kyle Rittenhouse, a white 17-year-old boy, to someone else who so many people, African Americans that are in jail of that same age, who are in custody for carrying a firearm for 3.5 years or even more, it's like, what is the difference? It's race. So is there a double standard when it comes to the criminal justice system and carrying firearms?
Bernarda, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 730's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.